5 common performance mods that don't work like you think they do. Number 1. Colder spark plugs. If your build doesn't require a colder spark plug, then you're just wasting your money and setting yourself up for problems. If your combustion temperatures aren't high enough to burn off the carbon buildup on the plug tip, you'll end up with fouled plugs in a short amount of time. Even if your setup does require colder plugs, the plugs themselves won't add any additional power, only prevent the loss of power that you already have due to heat-related issues such as knock. Number 2. Oversized exhaust. Bigger is always better, right? Wrong. More often than not, custom exhaust setups lose power instead of making power. Larger exhausts may reduce or remove the flow restriction, but when the exhaust diameter is too large, you lose velocity and the engine has to work harder to evacuate the exhaust gases, which causes power losses instead of gains. You're better off keeping the factory diameter, but removing any restrictions such as sharp bends, crimped bends, areas that neck down, and catalytic converters. Number 3. Low temperature thermostats. Engines have a specific operating temperature range that they're designed to run in. Not too hot, not too cold. A thermostat has no effect on how cool your engine runs. Its job is to stay closed until the coolant is at the correct operating temperature, at which point it will open up to allow the coolant to flow through the system. If the coolant gets too cold, the thermostat will close. Adding a 160-degree thermostat won't make your car run at 160 degrees. If you're having cooling issues due to performance upgrades, then your best bet is to upgrade your radiator and lower the fan kick-on temperature either through your tune or with a manual fan switch. Number 4. Racing gas. Race gas is the best for racing because it has race right in the name, right? That's not quite how it works. If your car isn't set up or tuned to take advantage of the higher octane or mixture of the fuel, then you're wasting precious dollars that could be used for real performance mods. The higher the octane, the cooler and slower it burns, which means you're going to make less power and run slower. Number 5. Short ram intakes. The engineers who designed your car are dumb, and the airbox that they designed is a huge restriction. At least, that's what you want to believe when you spend $300 on a tube and a filter. Actually, your factory airbox is quite efficient, already pulls in cold air, and will support increased power levels. Your short ram intake, on the other hand, also known as a hot air intake, sits in the engine bay and sucks in all of that hot air. And engines love hot air. Well, wait, no they don't. You might like the sound of your hot air intake, and you might trick yourself into believing that you feel some gains, but you just spent money to go slower. What other useless mods are out there? Let me know in the comments below right after you click that subscribe button.